It's funny. Sometimes the biggest, most profound stories come in the smallest packages. And today, we're looking at a perfect example of that, an Ethiopian Orthodox Psalter. So let's dive in and see what this simple, little wooden book can tell us about faith, history, and a really important story of identity. So first, let's just get a feel for the size of this thing. It's just over 7 inches tall and about 4 inches wide. So basically the size of a modern paperback book. This isn't some huge, grand tome you'd see on a pedestal. No, this is an object that was meant to be held, to be carried around. It was a personal companion for a spiritual journey.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty unassuming. It's made of simple wood, but as we're about to find out, its small size is hiding an absolutely incredible depth of culture and history. We're going to unpack it layer by layer. Okay, Section 1, an object of faith. We're going to start with the outside, just looking at the Psalter as a physical object. What's it made of? Where did it come from? The answers here are going to start building our whole story. So, right off the bat, these basic details, the kind of thing you'd see on a museum label, they give us our first real clues. The origin, the Amhara people of Ethiopia. The material, wood. And that tells you something crucial right there. This wasn't cranked out in a factory. It's handmade, it's organic, it's a deeply personal piece of craftsmanship. And as we open that wooden cover, we get our very first look inside. And this image, it just perfectly captures the heart of the whole object. It's a picture of King David, who's traditionally seen as the author of the Psalms. You can see right away the art and the text are completely connected. Section 2, the words within. Okay, now let's get to the text itself. The Psalter is a book after all. So what exactly does it say? And what do these words really mean? First up, just a quick definition so we're all on the same page. A psalter is simply a book that contains the Psalms, which are a collection of sacred prayers and hymns, really central to both Jewish and Christian traditions. So at its core, this object's whole purpose is devotional. And inside, you're going to find all 150 Psalms of David. This is the complete set, the real spiritual heart of the book. But it's not just the Psalms. It also has other hymns and prayers packed in there. And get this detail is fascinating. The headings for the Psalms are often written in red ink. And they aren't just titles. A lot of the time, they are actually original compositions, adding this whole unique layer of commentary from the person who wrote it all out. The language here is just so rich with meaning. For instance, the word they use for God is Amlak. Now, this word comes from the Semitic plural for king, so baked right into the word itself is this sense of supreme royalty and sovereignty. And in that same vein, you'll also see the term Elohim. The best way to think about this is like the difference between tu and vous in French. You use vous to show respect, right? It's a formal address. Well, Elohim works kind of like that. It's a plural of majesty, and it conveys a concept of God that is just grand and all-encompassing. And the history of this text is just staggering. The words inside this little book were first translated from Greek into the Ethiopian language Ge'ez way back in the 4th or 5th century. And the incredible part is, this isn't just some dusty historical relic. It's part of a living tradition that has spanned more than 1,500 years. Section 3, a story of identity. And this brings us to our last and honestly probably the most important part of this whole story, understanding the true identity of this object, because it's so often mistaken. The source material really just puts it perfectly. Coptic is one thing, Ethiopian another. That simple sentence is the key to correcting a huge historical and cultural misunderstanding. All right, so let's break this down, because this is the key. Why does everyone get this wrong? Well, for a long time, the Ethiopian church was historically dependent on the Coptic church in Egypt, so people just kind of lumped them together. But, and this is a huge but, that dependency does not mean they're the same thing. The reality is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church has its own distinct tradition, its own unique art, its own religious heritage. This Psalter isn't Coptic, it's Ethiopian, proudly and singularly Ethiopian. And that really leaves us with a final thought. We just took some time to unpack one small, simple book, and in doing that, we corrected a really common error and uncovered this rich, distinct cultural identity. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other stories just like this are out there, just waiting to be rediscovered, if only we take a closer look at the objects all around us?